This escape room fucking sucks, dude. God, the fucking notes.
I actually, that one's not edited, so
I hated this movie.
Okay. Thank you for coming to Because Movies. We're
Thank
gonna
you for
get
becoming.
right into it.
Thank you for becoming because movie podcast org
God damn it.
dot.
Why?
biz.
Why do I? Why?
Yep, why? I find my wife asking that a lot. Every now and then she just looks at me and she's like, why? Why did I ever do this? This was a mistake.
I feel their pain. They have to live with you though.
Then they get this dick.
Well, I'm sure you're just down.
Just down, and that's where you stop
here.
it. I'm down here talking to the microphone all the time like I'm fucking interviewing myself.
At least now you have a co-host, and you're actually posting it.
You know what? We should like green screen like somebody else right beside you.
I just have that thought process that you're before our show, you used to watch stuff in that room and you used to talk to yourself the whole time.
But you know what I should do? I should get like a screen here and put like somebody on. Oh fuck! I should get one of those real dolls and talk to that thing. Just have it sit beside me.
That's what you would do to it.
You can be my co-host Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings' real doll would be good.
Fuck.
This is gonna be our mascot. And we'll fill the jokes with root beer.
She'll always have a root beer stein right in front of her in every show.
Awesome.
Where am I gonna if we bought a real doll? Can you imagine my boys walking downstairs? Dad, what's that? Our co-host.
Could you imagine if this show caught on and the inside jokes that we could actually afford to do? Because like if we were getting like $1,000 a day from this show, which not gonna happen.
Who would ever pay to watch me? Who would pay $1 to watch me do anything?
I'm gonna crop this video right now so that we can bring it up in like 5 years.
When I'm dead, and it's a special about me before I had my heart attack from rage.
When there's like two.
You know what's gonna happen? But if you die first, they're all gonna be shitty because I don't know how to fucking edit. So I'm gonna be like,
I do have a surgery coming up. Maybe I will.
Oh, maybe you'll die. So everybody watch this and then donate to Phil's emergency fund at becausemoviespodcast.org/Phil surgery.
There's some guy that has becausemoviespodcast.org for some reason. I'm sure there's going to be one
You
viewer.
go there, and as you donate money, Kat Dennings' tits just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until we finally reach the goal of 100,000, and then they explode and root beer goes all over your screen.
You know what's actually going to happen? Some viewer out there is going to be like, haha, this is funny. I'm going to buy becausemoviespodcast.org, and he's going to get more traffic than we do.
Then if he does, I'll start saying .biz.
Today on the show, Escape Room. Tournament of Champions. Not the first one.
This did not fucking deserve 4K.
Did you see the first one?
You told me to watch it and fucking... It wouldn't have fucking mattered anyway because they have the whole fucking 5 minutes of this movie is a rehash of the first movie.
It is.
Stupid.
Okay, so did you?
Watch the first one? Yes, I watched that before.
Did you like it?
No.
Okay, great.
Did you like the first one?
I kind of did.
It's so cheap. It feels so cheap. Even this one felt so fucking cheap.
So I go into this one and I go into to get the synopsis, summary, the summary from Wikipedia as I do.
Snoppery.
And I'm expecting it to be like 5 lines. There's like a page, I was going to edit it.
Well, what I like. Okay, so here's an actual
summary.
Here's like a line of dialogue from this movie between two characters. Oh, Phil, look. There's
an ashtray with a number on it.
An ashtray with a number on it. What do you think it is?
Let me look around. Oh, look, a sponge.
Phil thinks it's a sponge, everybody. And Phil's smart. He's saved my life. So the answer is sponge.
But you have to light it on fire and throw it at the wall.
Okay, everybody, fire a sponge, light it. Like, that's literally what happens. They just fucking... Oh, Deanna, or whatever the fuck the girl's name is. They're like, she's a smart one. Whatever she says fucking goes. And then another guy would be like, oh, it says a number. What's the number? 4. Okay, then he answers 4.
I laughed at the shells on the eyes.
Oh,
and
my
like that
fuck.
being a thing. I'm just like...
But, so I'm watching that, and it shows a stupid mannequin with these fucking seashells. And it says something like, I can't see you, spelled S-E-A. Why? So, how would you ever get that? You wouldn't. But if someone just said, like, shell out the right amount of money, or I'm head over shells, something with fucking shells. Then you'd be like, oh yeah, the man with the fucking shells.
Be careful, or she'll see you.
Right? Like anything works better than fucking I can't see you.
Yeah.
It was
the electric subway.
the Tesla subway. I like
just
my favorite is they drop through a metal grate and then they're surrounded. They've got the metal grate and then they've got like a metal corridor that they're in. But no. The magnets and electricity are only happening up there.
Yeah.
I guess electricity doesn't continue down, like we know it does.
They thought of that.
Or
they insulated.
My favorite in the starting is so the mom, she's trapped inside the fucking sauna and it's heating up super duper fast. So she's got a magnet and there's these 3 metal rods that are holding her in there that are about maybe this far apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to take the magnet that's about this big, put it here, and this one moves over. I'm like, yeah, you know what's going to happen if you put that magnet there? They're both going to fucking move over.
Maybe.
Always.
If you're smart about this, you would make it the right amount of magnetism so that it couldn't do that. So you'd have to just do one.
Yeah, but if you have a big fucking block of a magnet and you go
well, who
to a
knows?
piece of metal, it's going to move all the metal that's there.
This is a really thought out process.
Magnets don't prefer. They just work like magnets.
And explain the acid rain.
Oh my fuck. So we'll get there. But so the way the mom is killed is stupid. And then they're waiting to get on a plane.
Okay, we're starting over, and so the mom thing, then the plane thing. Go on.
So they're now. I was not high yet. No, sorry, I got high for a different thing. Never mind.
You high now?
I wasn't high during this. But
Are you done your rock star?
Okay, so I remember they're sitting in it's not a waiting room. What the fuck is it when you're in airport? Like getting rid of the board, the area where you were bored.
Boarding.
And he's like, hey, I don't want to...
The terminal.
Should we do this? Do you want to do this? And she's like, yeah, of course we have to do this. He's like, I'm just, kind of second thoughts. She's like, if you don't want to do it, we don't have to. He's like, no, we'll do it. And then they're about to get on the plane, and she decides...
She has, like, PTSD.
Okay. And then they're like, no, let's not do this. Let's get a car.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so that's...
The whole airplane thing was set up. Did you get that?
No.
So, in the previous scene... They show them working on like an airplane setup.
Right.
That's what that was going to be. So they were going to get on the airplane.
So
and
not only
does
she have PTSD, she also has like psychic vision.
No, it was just PTSD from the previous movie. I guess
she wasn't in a plane though in the previous movie.
Was she not?
No.
And I don't know. Her mom died on a plane.
Sure. But then what happens?
It was snakes on a plane.
Yeah, and then
her mom died from a snake bite.
That I believe that's what happened. And then Kat Dennings shows up and
root beer jugs.
That's right. But so they decide to not take this plane, which costs probably about like $1,500 a ticket, $1,500 a ticket.
Probably.
Who gives a shit? They decide to get a car, and in the car he's talking about that he's out of money. I'm like, how the fuck did you rent a car?
He's
and
out
have
of
a
money
fucking plane?
they just spent all their money on tickets.
And then they're in a hotel, and then he starts having a dream about how the ceiling is coming down. That was kind of cool.
That was cool. I thought it was the real deal.
But I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that the ceiling comes down. And Star
Wars type moment, but different.
By moment one, you're like, okay. He's telling you his backstory and babbling in the car. You're like, okay, that guy dies. And basically everyone but her is going to die is where I was expecting this to go. Wait, you saying black girls are sexy?
No, I'm talking about your burp.
You fucking burp.
I would never.
Racist. So then, they're driving a car. Now, this is how much I remember about what happened. They're driving a car, right? So her and black girl and white boy are driving a car.
Damn it,
I can't remember what their fucking names are.
Yeah.
The
Zoe?
the escapees. Sure, Zoe and Dan. We'll call him Dan. But who cares? So they're driving. They're in a car, and then someone takes his wallet. They
get to the place there where they somehow were looking up
the place they were going to fly to.
Yeah, it was something was happening, some construction, and then they got there and nothing was happening.
And then they meet a junkie guy.
Yeah,
and he steals. He steals his wallet. Then they run after him, and then they're on a subway. and then they meet other people on the subway who have also been in escape rooms and survived.
Yeah, we find that out. Yeah.
And we find this out, I want to say, in a matter of 4 minutes, maybe. And they start having like it's Tesla coils and shit, and magnets, and who cares?
The roof is electrified.
Sure.
And then that electricism.
Yeah. Electricism.
It goes.
The electricism starts going all over the place. But there's no conduct. Oh, so this was good too. There's no conductor on their car that's being pulled. So they're not the front car, but the conductor should be in this car because sure.
No, because in a train like that, there's one at the front and one at the back.
Right, but they're in the middle. So what I liked was they discover there's no conductor, which of course there wouldn't be. Then the train uncouples, and I'm like, oh, if the train uncouples, there's going to be no forward momentum. Like there's nothing pulling them. So they're going to slow and then stop.
You can't think like that because maybe there's a fix for that. Maybe this is all like set up, right? So maybe there's an engine underneath and then blah.
Yep. And then they proceed to increase in speed, I think.
I think so.
I can't remember.
And then they go to a spot and crash.
Yep. And then they crash, and then magnets and electricity.
Yeah.
And then there's a trap door in the bottom of the car.
Welcome back is the main phrase for that.
Sure.
And so they're like, welcome back. Okay, so they go in the trap
and then
door.
They're like, oh, it's Hangman. And I'm like,
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
They go in the trap door, and then they're in this weird spot. And
you're supposed to give a shit about these people.
Yeah. But
you don't know any of their names.
No.
You have no idea who anyone is. You barely even care about what are their names? Ban and Zan. So who could possibly care about any of the characters in this movie?
This is a blatant like Saw type experience.
Yeah.
Which is fun, but I didn't think any of the stuff was clever. It was just thrown together.
And it was so like fucking Bland says, the answer's 5. Hey everyone, Bland says the answer's 5. Put in 5. Like there was no thinking to fucking anything. And that's where I was just like, this is stupid.
At least in like Saw, there's a actual puzzle to it. And like you're like, how do I get out of this alive? I have to give up something to get out of it alive.
Also, there should have been, I know it's PG-13, but it would have been fun to have more gore. But
yeah.
But
saved it.
You were saying about, and you discussed this great acid fucking rain part.
It's like one of the last parts.
Yeah.
And they okay, how to explain it? Every little bit, there's like
every 45 seconds.
It starts to rain, and they have to get under something, or they get liquefied, melted.
Liquefied, yep. They melt.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Now, what I like is she's like, it's acid rain. My God, I've got to run away. And then as she's running away, and her rubber shoes are splashing all through of the acid, and then she falls down on her side. Oh my God! And she splashes in the acid and gets back up. Luckily, I guess once the acid touches the ground, it's no longer acid anymore.
Well, was this Zoe, or was this the girl that can't feel pain? Because one of the girls couldn't feel pain.
Okay.
That was a whole plot point that didn't matter, except for when we got to this point, and it was like, oh, I can touch things because it's just an easy plot point.
Yeah. But what I like was it's the kind of ignorance of basic things. I always love ignorance of basic things. So it's like when you like everybody loves Superman 4 because it's just of course a great movie. And when Radioactive Man brings Mariel Hemingway into space, and then for some reason the sun goes away, and then Radioactive Man like powers down like a broken robot, and then Mariel Hemingway is like holding on to him like, oh no, don't let me fall. You're in space, so there's no gravity. You can't breathe. Well, you can't talk.
To be fair, It was the 50s back then.
No, this is nice. This is fucking Superman 4 in 1984.
And they didn't know how
or 85 or 86 maybe.
Space worked.
My point is, it's basic logic, right? And so, but you're like, hey, it's a Superman movie. It's supposed to be stupid. But that was like this movie. It's basic logic things. Like if it's raining acid, all the things that are affected by acid have to melt. That's how it works,
They
right?
explain that with a special kind of plastic.
Right? Which is great.
Enough of the other kind of plastic that it would slowly melt.
But did you notice that all of our characters were wearing clothes?
Yes.
And did you notice that as they splashed through the acid on the ground, that went on their shoes and on their pants?
Yes.
And then Bran, girl,
But
Bland.
did you notice by the end of that scene, they were walking on their ankles?
But there's a part where Bland, what's the girl's name? Zoe, where she's got an umbrella.
Yeah, and it melts.
And you can see rain dripping on her.
Yep.
And I'm like,
we'll just do that in post, but we don't have enough budget to do it all. So hopefully people think that she's getting burned.
But it's like, well, your clothes would be melting. And it's not that I want to see this girl naked, far from it, but I'm like, you have to be logical. Like, if it's getting in your hair, if it's getting in your skin would be melting. Like, none of this is happening. Except
PG.
When Dorf and Doof, frickin' frack, the two girls decide, let's die together, I guess. I don't know why. And they hug each other. And
they tried to get into the taxi and it closed on them or something like that. So they didn't make it.
And then they ran out of the phone booth because why not? And so they die, and quite literally, like the Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz. Yeah, they kind of melt. Like fucking Toons dipped in fucking dip from Roger Rabbit.
The most gruesome death, but all you see is smoke or fog, fog machine.
It's unbelievably bad.
It would have been slightly better if they did what you said and made it R-rated and showed all these things. No one gets sliced.
Nope.
No one. The deaths are in the sand.
Someone has to explain to whoever made this movie
Acid.
how fucking sand works. Because sand doesn't work like water.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does. Because you can displace it with air.
Right.
But
when you have like a bunch of air going up underneath sand is heavier, so it's going to sink, right? Unless you have a shit ton of air pushing that sand up.
Well, that's the point. If you watch, there's a certain episode of Mythbusters that deals with this, and it allows the Mythbusters to go into the sand,
quicksand,
quicksand, and then they stop the air, and then it's like encased on them. Mm-hmm. But as long as that air is flowing, it acts almost like water.
That's right. Except these people get pulled down, and then they drop into like a hallway or
I don't.
So. That sand would constantly be falling fucking downwards. Not to mention the bubbling, misting sand that they're like drowning in, like it's fucking water. Like, that's not how sand works.
Yeah.
Like, my fucking babies know how sand fucking works. Like, you can bury someone in the sand, but if I like put sand on you, it's gonna fall away unless I take like a whole fucking dump truck of sand and pour it on you. It was basic logic things that just disappeared.
You don't need to have logic. It's a movie.
It was so stupid. It was so stupid, and it wasn't. The worst is it wasn't even fun stupid. It was just stupid, which got boring for me.
Plot was just like, it's kind of like the certain Saw movies that were just like, let's throw in a plot real quick.
At the end, it totally changes. It's like, haha, I killed my own mother, and now I'm killing you. Haha, I'm going to go and going to.
First, that was a good one.
A good what?
A good reveal.
No.
I liked it because I liked seeing her go evil, you know? But if you didn't watch this, I'm sorry. You should know our show spoils everything. But what do they do at the end there?
Who cares? The character. They go through...
The whole, I'm pretending to be trapped in this wall. Like, as long as I can get out, I'm a bad person instead of a good person.
My favorite is, so she's bad, and... She meets Zubels, Zoodles, whatever the black girl's name, Zoodles, Zoe. She meets Zoe, and she says, "Hey, we don't have a lot of time to talk because my dad is coming here. I've always believed in you, and I feel like I've known you this entire time, and I know you haven't met me at all, but you should totally trust me. And also, this is the way to get out of the place. Okay, goodbye."
Solve this equation with me.
That's literally how fast. Okay, there's a bird. Okay, yeah, Zoe said bird, and there's a number 5. Oh, it's got to be 5 birds.
Wait.
5 birds fixes it.
But if you think about Caesar had a pet bird
That's
named Darius.
And also, there's dog food called Caesar, so the answer has to be birds made of dog food.
And I see a D over there. I'm a fan of the D.
Yep, and it's got to be birds with huge D's that eat dog food, and then it opens a fucking.
Open the door. She escaped, and she's the bad guy. So an even bigger bad guy.
So dumb, like, and it wasn't even fun dumb. That's what the bad part was. At least with some of the Saws, none of the Fast and Furious. Well, that's not true. 1 or 2 of the parts of the Fast and Furious.
Almost all the Saws storylines are sleepy bullshit. Who cares?
But it's so vapid and stupid that you have to have some fun. The actors have to have some fun. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen a lot in the Saw movies, but sometimes it does. With this one, it never happened. It was always these actors are terrible. The story is stupid. I'm uninterested. I don't care what's happening.
Just give me Saw in a house like that Saw movie.
Why don't they have Saw in a house like Home Alone?
Every room.
Saw alone.
They had to get out of the first room. Then they're in the next room, and that's another puzzle. And then they're in the next room, and that's another puzzle. They have to escape this house.
I'm assuming,
and that's all there is to the movie, and I loved it.
I'm assuming you haven't seen the movie Cube, which
I
is
love
the superior
Cube
version to this.
It's got to be my favorite movie of all time.
Do you know
I've
that
seen
Cube is
all 3?
Do you know where Cube was? What country it's from? That's right. Makes you think. Starts with a C.
Comerica?
Yep, Comerica. So all you Camericans out there should be super happy about the Camerican film called Cube. Camerica.
Canada?
Yeah, it's a Canadian film.
Okay.
Cube's a Canadian movie.
What? Have you seen all 3 movies?
I have. Yep.
I love them.
They go
have
down
issues.
in quality,
Yeah.
but that first one is so fucking good. The first Cube movie is fucking sensational.
Give me a reboot done by someone competent.
I'd like to see a reboot done by someone that likes to go over the top with gore. I think that would be fucking fun. Like Eli Roth sucks, but if someone was to write, like when he writes his own stuff, he's absolutely awful. But if you were to give him the story of Cube and say, dude, just film it exactly how I wrote it, I think he could do it. I think Quentin Tarantino could do a good version. But if somebody was going to do it like I'd want to see like a Sam Raimi version of it, like an over-the-top gorehound would be a lot of fun.
No, that mixed with you have to have an ensemble cast.
Do you though?
I can't.
I'd be okay with a forgettable cast.
No, you have. Sorry, I meant to say like good
camaraderie and good
lines, good writing. So like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
What's
like the opposite of Escape Room, where all these actors are just thrown together and they say act.
What's Guardians of the Galaxy's director?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. If you were to get James Gunn to write it.
Yep.
I'd be all for that.
Yep. If you were to get James Gunn to direct it, because when you watch his oldest shit, he's fucking for gore. He loves it. So
his own version of this
would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'd like to say his version of Cube, not this shit.
That's what I'm saying. Sorry.
I hope this shit gets fucking buried under the ground in a goddamn escape room and it never gets out.
Don't watch this.
Nope.
Go watch Cube.
That's right.
Go watch. Which one's the second one? Hypercube, or is that the third one?
No, Hypercube is the
Cube
second
Zero
one.
and
Cube Zero is number 3.
Okay.
Hypercube is the second one.
Cube, Hypercube, Cube Zero.
Yep.
All amazing. Cube Zero because it's actually the first one, right? Because that's the one that's before
it's like a prequel.
Yeah.
But Cube, the first
the
one,
origin story
is so original and it's so cheaply made, but never looks cheap. It was just very intelligently made, unlike Escape Room.
Don't give Cubed or Cube.
Holy fuck! The fourth one should be called Cubed.
Well, I think that was what Hypercube was called or something. I don't know. Don't give it to Korea. They'll end up making a TV show out of it.
I want to leave the cube, and then he goes and sits in a corner and contemplates how broke he is.
Call back to our last episode, as we do. All right.
I give this.
This is 24 minutes long.
2
it's longer than
Kat
any episode.
Dennings root beer jugs out of 10.
Out of 10. Yeah, it's bad.
Thumbs down, Kat Dennings.
My wife chose not to watch it, even though she kind of liked the first one.
My wife came walking in, looked at the
right.
screen, promptly turned around and walked back out again.
It was. I just like watching like the puzzles.
I do fucking puzzles here. You've seen all the goddamn puzzles that I do.
Yeah, I want to watch you do a puzzle.
You should watch me do a puzzle.
You should do time lapse.
I guarantee that you would watch me work on a puzzle for 5 minutes, and you'd start yelling at me the way that I yell at you when we're doing shit. Because even my wife is like, she's like, I don't know how the fuck you do this. Because I'll be like, I'll just have, and usually it's like death metal or audiobooks on in the background, and I'll just go piece.
China metal. What is it called?
Baby metal, China metal. Jesus Christ! But I'm the racist one. But I go piece by piece. Like it's very slow, and I'm very meticulous.
Meticulous, yeah,
And,
methodic.
most people who have watched me do puzzles are like, "How the fuck do you do this? I'd lose my mind."
I don't do puzzles because it would break me. Thank you for watching BecauseMoviesPodcast.com.
And donate to Phil's hernia operation at becausemoviespodcast.com/philballs.html.
Inside information, I was actually looking into a hernia operation procedure, but the hernia specialist said, yeah, it's not big enough. It's not protruding. So, like, we don't usually do it at this point. I'm like, great. I have to be in pain every so often and just stay that way. Fun.
I need to go to the physiotherapist. The physiotherapist I went to, she is spectacular, but I'm fairly certain she's a dominatrix. Because when she was like putting that suction cup thing on my back.
Oh, you do those? Okay.
Well, I did.
You do the balls?
I didn't do any balls. I just did the suction cups.
It's not like the hot.
No. This one is the suction cup, and then she fucking pulls that thing around.
That's what it is.
But she was like
with fire and then take the air out. Okay, so yeah, cupping,
yeah. But what was great was she's doing it. She's like, "Does that hurt?" I'm like, "No," like that. And she's like,
"Supposed to."
Well, that's. I was like, "No, it's because I think she was like, is it a bad pain? You know that you're going through?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No." She's like, "Okay, good." As she was doing it, and I was like, "This chick's getting into her
then
job."
After you're feeling great, supposedly.
Felt great. My back is better, not 100%, but better. But no, I got to go for my shoulder now, and I'm hoping I get that same girl because I guarantee she's going to put me through pain.
A lot of athletes and wrestlers and stuff like that machine that pulses like that.
Yeah, they had that on my back for a bit. Yep.
I'm just suggesting.
I want her to show up dressed as Kat Dennings from Two Broke Girls and put me through the fucking paces in my physio.
Now think about that and dance.
But then people will be able to tell I have an erection.
Okay. Dance under the table. Helicopter.
Hey, can you use a green screen to make it look like this is floating? Look, everybody. It's floating.
You'd have to have a green hand.
Fuck. Oh, hold on.
Where's
Look.
your green tape? That's not green.
Ooh.
It's not green, Rob.
Look, you can't even see. No strings. Hey, fuck off. Goodbye, everybody. No, wait. We should have a better outro.
Please keep watching.
Please keep watching. And you'll see stars like Kat Dennings.
Oh. PewDiePie. We have to get the TikTok crowd. Who's big on TikTok?
Cats. Funny cat noises. Funny dances.
People falling down.
Falling down people.
Falling down. I love that movie.
There's a sequel called Falling Down People. You can see it right here. Bye, everyone. Join us next time on BecausePodcasts.org.